Okay, so it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. Today's gonna be Wednesday. What is the date? There's there's still predictions going for the end of this month. I think it's maybe today's the 23rd. But but there's still predictions for the end of the month. But I just saw a guy doing a prediction, and he said that before the end of the month there's gonna be a bunch of earthquakes, and he said there's gonna be a big one off of the California coast, and it's gonna create a tsunami, and that people need to be getting ready. I know this shit is coming. There's gonna be crazy shit that's gonna happen, and it's gonna take out lots of people at one time. It's gonna be super sad to a lot of people. That's what's gonna turn things for a lot of people. So, I mean, there's nothing, I mean, we just got to go through this, and it's kind of like it's all these different soul groups, storylines. It's what it seems like to me. And yesterday, I watched this movie, so it took me a long time to finish it because I kept pausing it because I really wanted to see what happened. Because when it started, like, it just popped up on my thing, and I just pushed it. I was just like, I don't know if it was like I just was putting something on or whatever it was, because I didn't know anything about it or anything, so I just pushed it. It was the first movie on my thing. And so when it started, I don't really remember the first part, but there was a part where this girl was at school, and they looked outside, and all of a sudden all these cars started wrecking. There started being cars wrecking and wrecking, and then planes started falling out of the sky. And so then it got my attention, and I was like, what the hell is this movie about? And so I watched it, and I kept pausing it, so it took all day to finish it. But so what it was, though, oh my God. So what it was it's called The Fifth Wave, and it is one of these movies that I think it is showing us stuff. And so how they had it go, it was like the first wave was and maybe it was the electronic, it was what the planes falling, the cars crashing and stuff. It was something about electronics or something that which I think that we kind of have going on anyways, this energy shift. So it's shifting, and it's causing this thing to happen. Now I'm distracted because Crystal just sent me this TikTok of this doctor talking about getting bugs in your nose, and then they'll work their way up and they'll get in your brain and cause all sorts of problems. And I have been saying for so long that there's bugs in my nose. And lately I keep feeling something crawling around and then up in my eyes. And anyway, so she just sent me that because when I've said that stuff, I know it sounds kooky, but I did see that girl who she said she was feeling something and she was blowing or something. Unless she did this whole big fake thing, it did not seem fake at all, though. It was a big fucking worm, and she pulled it out of her nose, and it was huge. And I was like, oh my God. So then when I kept feeling things crawling around in there, I kept thinking, oh my God, do I have a big giant worm in my nose? Oh my God. And anyways, she just sent me this video, this doctor saying, yeah, you get these worms in your nose, and or bugs. She said bugs in your nose. And she's like, if you want to learn how you get them and how to stay away from them and all this stuff, then follow me. And so anyways, when I just started talking, I started feeling something crawling around. I'm like, oh my God, I got the worms in my nose. I got the bugs in my nose. But I swear the CHD dioxide, I still am not coughing. When I cough, like in the middle of the night or something, I got like, I don't know, where you inhale weird or something while you're sleeping, and then all of a sudden you choke and then start coughing, and you just keep coughing, but I can't. It's like, it's weird because it isn't like a deep cough. I don't know. I don't really know. It's like like this, like I can't cough. Like, it's the weirdest thing. There's nothing to cough. And so then it's just super dry, and you're just like, and there's nothing. And it's so weird because I was coughing so fucking much for so many years. Oh my God, it's so crazy. So anyways, back to what I was saying. Okay, so in this movie, so the first wave I think was the electronics thing. I remember one of the waves was a sickness, and the birds, it was called a bird flu or something, because the birds carried the sickness around and got everybody sick. And so all these people started dying. They died of this sickness. And then I can't remember all of the, maybe it was in the fourth wave where there was no power, electronics, or anything anymore, or something. I don't know. But it came in waves, these big changes. Just like, what's happening for people is like these waves of change keep coming in. And so in this, then the fifth, no, it must have been the fourth was the others or something. And the others came or something. And so there was space alien, there's these other beings from somewhere else that came to control these ones and to get rid of them because they wanted the earth for themselves. And so which that's what we have, these people who were already here. I mean, we're here and they are doing the same thing to us. They want to get rid of us. And so then so her family, they left to go to one of these camp places where a whole bunch of people are coming together and like creating like their own little township, communal kind of thing, like just trying to figure out like how to, I don't know, all the people just were kind of lost. It was like, go take over a school, and it just, I don't know. Who knows what it would really be like. But the thing is like they program people. So people watch that and then they react in the way that they're programmed. So we probably would have just a bunch of people stand out there. You have the aggressors, you have the people who, they just don't know what to do. And it just was kind of chaotic. It didn't seem very functional. It seemed kind of like, I don't know. But anyways, so, and everybody had a GUN. I was like, and that became a problem. So anyways, they're in this place, and all of a sudden, and they're making plan, because they got to keep the others out and stuff. And then all of a sudden, the army comes boot scooting right on in there, in their big old tanks and shit. And the girl is like, I thought that no electronics worked. How are they driving cars? And I'm thinking, fucking government, fucking shit, man. Of course, they're gonna keep us in, the oppressed. They also have stuff working, but we wouldn't have stuff working. That's how they want to take it, and I don't know how far anything's got to go. I just know it switches. We don't stay under their control. So however this drags is, I don't know. But I know we win in the end. So so the army comes in, and then they want to load all the kids. So they're telling, and it just right away, it was like, this isn't good. And especially, like, I don't know if regular people watch it and don't think anything, but I'm thinking, oh my God, the government, don't fucking separate from your kids. Like, are you kidding? This is, I could see exactly what they were going to do. And so then they load the kids up in school buses and drive them off. And all the parents are supposed to go into the community center building, and so that they can have a meeting with the army. And so the army guy goes in and he's talking to them, and he's telling them about the others, and they have a test they can do on all the kids and make sure, but the others are tricking everybody because they're like shapeshifters or whatever, and they can look like humans and all of this stuff. And so once one guy hears, like, you're not letting us go to our kids, and he pulls his out, and like, he's taking on the army at this point. Well, everybody starts getting him out. Everybody in their somehow in this massacre, all of the parents are, of course, gone, but the army guys just go out and get in their cars and take off. And so the, which, you know, was more suspicious already. And then, but the girl had gotten off the bus to go get something for her brother. He had forgot. And the bus took off without her. So she witnesses this happen. And so she sees her dad's gone. And then she's like on her own trying to get to this place that's like far away where they've taken the kids. And so she's trying to get to her brother, who's just a little kid still. And so she takes off through this forest, and she takes one of the guys' machine guns with her. And because the army guys had the machine guns, there was a couple of dead ones in there. But then they, so she goes out and she gets shot, and somebody takes her home and is healing her, and this whole thing, you know, so we've always got to have a storyline in there. So anyways, she is still going to look for her brother. Well, they're showing this other part of the storyline too, where her brother is, and in that where they take him. So the army people take him in, and right away, it was so fucking clear. Right away, they take him in there and start manipulating him. For one thing, they tell him that this is serious about the others. The others are about to attack, and they have to fight him, and start putting all of this stuff on the kids. You know, you're the future, you've got to do this, you've got to save the people, and all this shit. So taking which they have done in Africa, taking little kids and made them into soldiers. That's one thing that they do there. Like, they run out of soldiers, they just go kidnap a bunch of kids and put them out there, and once they're dead, they just go get some more. And so which to me is like the same kind of people. So it's the same, you know, over there they wear one uniform, over here they wear different. But anyways, so this so they take these kids and right away start manipulating them. They show them this other kid and put these glasses on him, and then they say, see, you can see that he's the other, and it's like they've got this space alien thing that's attached to their face, and you can't see it because it's inside of them, so it's like x-ray glasses or something. And so they work with these kids, get them all ready to go out and fight, and then send them out on this mission. So this is the fifth wave. The fifth wave is this big battle with the others. And so yeah, all this stuff happens through this thing where the kids all of a sudden realize, like, that these are humans. These are, the glasses are making us see this, and we're killing all the humans. Why would they have humans killing humans? And so they were like, what the hell is going on? And then they figured out, oh, the others are the people who are in charge. They're getting us to do the work for them. I was like, this is just so exactly, so exactly their pattern, so exactly create a war, get them to fight it for you, reduce the population, get control of their minds, and then so the ones is built so much on a compliancy. The other ones, which would be the group I would be in, would be fighting the controlling ones. And so the ones fighting for freedom, then they are the bad guys. So I was like, oh my God. The stuff that in these movies, and I don't even know what year that movie was made, but it's like, there's so much stuff in the movies that's just playing out, and it shows us the truth and all of that kind of stuff. So it's, I don't know. I was just like, oh my God, this is exactly, I mean, this is what their whole thing about the 2030 and so getting control over this generation, that we can see that they've got them like, I don't know, like they're halfway in the metaverse or something. Like they've got all of our society so fucked up, man. It's so fucked up. It's so godless. And people are without any purpose, without any insight to who and what you are, they're just lost. We just have this lost society. And it's so sad, is like, because you know, and they're internal, it's not a creature. It's a beautiful orb. It's a shiny orb of light, and it's a conscious being that it's like the storyline or the the game or whatever just gets them so lost. And to me, that seems like the part of the challenge of the game. But I don't know. But it seems like that is a part of the challenge of the game, is being able to find yourself in the darkest of places, to be true to yourself, to see yourself and stuff. And so seeing all these people who don't see themselves, don't trust themselves, don't believe in themselves, they hate being alive. I mean, can you imagine that? Like hating being alive. Like when there's so much to being alive, there's so much experience. Like being alive is it gives you like it gives you insight into yourself and an experience, but it's like the experience, it's like the experience is it's so magnificent. It's so it's like a huge opportunity. And so people have this great opportunity, this great time to experience themselves, but they're like trapped in a cage in fear, and they're held by what they fear. And because their belief system becomes controlled by fear of rejection, fear of I don't know, it seems like a lot of people are fearful of things not being able to make sense. Like that's like the huge dependency. It's funny because the people who are more godless, like they go and lean into science because it gives them all the answers. Well, no, it's logical. Everything's logical. Everything's it's got an answer. 1 + 1 = 2. And then it's like, so they're looking for some safety net of logic. They're looking for some kind of which restricts them. That's like puts them on one side of the brain. And that is like the logical side. The other side, the creative side, the side that is the intuitive side, the emotional, creative, like that's why you got to find the blend of them both. You can't just be all like, oh, it's got to make sense and stuff, because it's not going to make sense. We live in a magical world, and all of these different beings are all having different experiences and stuff. Like we're living, it's way more magical. The reason it's kind of lost its spark is because the people have drug it down. And so you can't just go at life and just make it make sense. And that is a part of what drives a lot of the people's fears and stuff, is things start playing out. It's like, I think it's like why a lot of these academics just want to shut up. Just shut up. That's not real. That's not real. It's like they can't even let their minds go there, because that is like I said, it's like swimming too far offshore. It starts feeling a little too scary. And so they got to pull back into the shore where it feels safe. They need their life preserver. They need their, I just see like somebody out there not enjoying the water, swimming. I'm not saying like everybody needs to, because I fuck that with the fucking ocean and shit. No fucking way. But it's people who go out and want to go out and swim and stuff, but then it's like, put on the life, put this on, put that on, have this and have that, like all of the safety measures, where it becomes like you're not enjoying it because you've got so much safety things. Like you're not really in the thing. You're very hypersensitive to something can happen or something. I don't know. It's like a change in the energy. And so that is kind of like what these science minds or whatever, they're trying to be so logical and make it make sense, and there's a reason for everything and all of that stuff. Then they but they are scared of it not making sense. So, and the more that things start falling apart, it's going to cause such a rift in their belief system. And that's what everything is going to lead to, this existential crisis for so many people, coming at it from so many different angles. Like it's not going to just be one thing. It's going to be a whole assortment of different angles on certain perspectives, or certain like an emotional jail or something. It's like how people keep themselves. and keep themselves very restricted and being able to think. Like, it has always weirded me out. Like, I thought it was so weird how, like, so many people don't believe in ghosts. I was just like, what? Like, what do you think you are? Like, what? I just think that is so weird. It's like, a spirit that isn't in its body anymore. And it's like, well, we don't stay in the body all the time. We're spirits too. We come out. And we're all, we're all some type of a spirit. We're all some type of an energy. And so we all go, and everything has an energy. It's just not all a conscious energy. But it is like a vibratory thing. And so, because I was just seeing like how flowers and gardens and beautiful grow in a higher vibration and a lower vibration, it's dark and mildewy. See, that's how it felt over there too, where I was living. It just felt dark and mildewy and wet, and it was such a beautiful place too. But it was the beauty also had so much with moss, and it was really cool looking and stuff. But when I would be over there, I would just feel like, oh my God, it's so, the vibration, especially when the people around you are so asleep. And I know, like, most people are. Most people are asleep, no matter if they think that they're so aware of things, but they're aware of just certain things. And it really seems to me it's just aware of things that they are scared of, and that they just get stuck on it. And so many people are stuck on the government. Like, lots and lots of people know the government's corrupt, but I don't think they have any clue of how corrupt. Like, I mean, because my mom, like, she knows they're corrupt, but when you start talking about kid eating and shit like that, and it's like, oh, that's too crazy. It's like, I'm telling you, when the fucking shit comes out, the human trade industry is going to be where it was keeping this world going. That was where the laundry started, was off of that. And my mom were having a discussion yesterday, and we were talking about the addictive stuff in foods. I don't remember what we were talking about, something, but she was like, well, I'm sure, like, they're putting something, like, in Oreos. Like, most people, you start eating them and they just eat the whole package. They can't even stop. And she said, I'll have a 2-cookie limit, and then it's like, I'll have Oreos, and it's like, oh my God, I gotta eat another one and another one. And so we were talking about the addictive stuff, and she's like, I can't even have those in my house. Like, there's certain things that you just all of a sudden, like, this is weird. Why am I feeling so, like, I have to have another one? Like, she could recognize it was something in the cookie that was addictive, like, just like Lay's potato chips, which I think all potato chips. But anyway, so I said, yeah, but the sick thing is what it is that they say that we're so addicted to, is like, you'd have to, like, I've seen it a couple of different times. I don't remember the name of the company. It was some, and it's always these, this company has this corporation starts these 15 LLCs and these other corporate, like, it's just all bleeds off of, like, that's why everything is like the rock that's black, or where the other one, Vanderbilt or something, I don't know, these two top dogs, and everything comes from that. And so the corporation, hold on, where was I? Because now I have this other thing coming into my head, because I just saw this video where this girl said that this hospital that she worked at had been open for 60 years, and they just closed the doors. And she said the reason that this was closed down, which it affects this community now, is because the corporation ran it into the ground. All they did was give themselves more money, and they just drained it, and so the whole hospital's closed down. Well, they'll do that to more. She said there's going to be more that this is going to happen to. The corporations are just draining the whole fucking thing, and then they don't care if you have to go drive 3 hours to wait 10 hours in an ER. They don't give a shit. They're going to make the money off of you and the insurance and the gas, driving over, all of it. So, They just keep us running on the hamster wheel while they just profit off of it. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Every fucking thing we do is the money in their pockets. So, and then they keep people so stuck in sickness and stuck in sickness, and get them to focus on, why would God do this to me? Why would God let this happen? Why, it's like, you guys got to look at things different. Like, there's not some guy up in the sky who's like, those ones suck. Make it hard on them. It's like, you did this to yourself. You came up. And I just think, to me, just with the knowing that kind of stuff and seeing the people's attitude, I just feel like, in knowing what we're dealing with in the awakening too, with the ego and stuff, I just feel like as energetic beings, we have a lot of ego. A lot of people think like, oh yeah, I can do that. I can manage that. No big deal. And then they get into the situation or the scene, and it's like it overwhelms them. It's like, oh, it's too much. It's too much. And somebody's doing this to me, and they forget totally who they are and that they're here and they came here and on purpose for these experiences. So it's weird. Like, once you realize that too, and then you just have conversations with people, and they always go in this weird direction. And it's always this guy in the sky who's out to get everybody. And then you have these other people worshiping the guy in the sky, saying, well, you just got to say his name, and he'll like you then. He'll forgive you of all your sins. You don't have to worry about anything. I'm like, nothing about this makes any sense to me. Like, nobody can take away your sins. Nobody can take away the energy you put out is your energy. Nobody can step in and say, no, I'm taking it all. Could you imagine all of the billions of people putting out bad energy, and one guy, he's going to take it all on? Really? Okay. It's like, well, that's kind of a shitty thing. Here, let's just all pilot on that guy. He says he'll take it. It's his problem. I'm just going to go off and start a new thing. I'm like, well, that's not how it really works. Really works. Whatever you put out, you're the one who's got to fix it. And so but the people who follow along with that, there's more to it. There's more, there's like a dependence. There's a lot of things, like, and it's going to be a whole variety of things when people wake up, the things that they have to cleanse from and stuff. But anyway, so on this cookie thing, so I said, well, the thing that is sick about it is, from what I understand, in this one of these corporations, like I said, I can't remember what it's called, like Cisco or something, I don't know, but they were trying to figure out flavoring and what things that really is like, figure out what we are addicted to. And I've said this about a zillion times, so I'm going to say it again, because in their studies where they found that we are addicted to kidney cells, and to me is, why would you even come up with something like that? Like, have we gone through the liver cells, we've gone through blood cells, we've gone through, like, what all are you fucking putting in our food, motherfuckers? Like, what in the holy hell? How do you even come up with that? Like, oh, I wonder if they'd be addicted to kidney cells. Like, what the fuck? And then it gets so much darker because, with the clinics that were on every corner to take care of women's problems, then that's what, so much of that, it goes to that. Like, it is a whole thing. Like, I don't know. It's a whole rabbit hole thing. But anyways, yeah, I was like, yeah, that's what's really sick about it, is that they use these fetuses that have been taken out of their moms, and then they, put all these kidney cells and stuff. And then I said, and what even gets worse is we got a huge amount of people disappearing, and we got a huge amount of people who are missing those things out of them. I said, it's way bigger. Like, this human trade thing is way, way bigger than what people can even imagine. I think it's going to be just like, as my mom was watching, some doctor came on and he was saying all these things, to older people, if you want to be healthy and stuff like that. And so much stuff is like the same things that I have said and stuff. But she's like really seeing, like, man, changing my lifestyle on little things, can, just like, the doctor's saying bacon's real bad. I keep saying meat, and I keep saying people are going to find out they're eating dog and people. It's like, ugh, so uh, but I said, but also, think about like you're eating something dead. Like I just don't see that as being really healthy. Like you're cooking it, but still, it's dead. Like it's literally dead. And when you, like when you get vegetables and you pull them out, they're still alive. And then you cook them so they're still alive. And then, like when a vegetable rots, you don't go cook it. You throw it out for the birds or whatever. But, meat, it's like dead, chopped up, packaged, sent out. Like, God, I'm surprised that we don't have maggots all over the fucking place with this shit. Like, it's really disgusting when you think about it. It's like, oh, that is really gross. And but it's just things as you awaken, you just start looking at them and you start seeing them different. And you start being like, oh, ooh, man, that's really gross. And, but so this doctor though said to, get off the bacon. He said, I know everybody loves bacon, but bacon is, all lunch meats, fast food, all of it is, killing you. And so she is just like, I love it, but I'm not going to eat it anymore. Like she's just making these changes, and see, that's the best direction to go. And I feel like that also is a part of me being here because I'm so focused on that. And I talk about it all the time about making changes in your lifestyle, seeing what's not working, seeing what's not helping you and stuff. And so many things affect our health. So when you start putting it all together, then you start becoming more healthy by making better decisions for yourself. And they just have people so trapped. Like, I mean, think about that. Like, they're just feeding us dead stuff. And then, of course, they're just like, oh, we got some dead people, let's feed them that. They'll eat it. They'll eat anything. It's like, God. So, but it's going to be, I just saw this thing where it said that they did a study on hot dogs. And they studied 376 varieties or something of hot dogs. I didn't know there was that many. But they studied all these hot dogs, and 14% of them or something had, or whatever the numbers were, they had human DNA. I'm telling you. And it's only gotten worse, too, I think. Like, I think that they've always been putting that stuff, but just think about the amount of people who are going at this time. It is, it all goes together too. How absurd and gross stuff has to get, because it's a part of the awakening, and the part of the not seeing it before you see it is a part of the part you got to heal in yourself. And so that's all going together. And then another conversation I had with my mom too, the other day, was because like, I think all the holidays are absurd. I was really thinking this one, when all these people are out, like, hunting Easter eggs and whatnot, and I'm thinking, it's so weird that this is some religious holiday, and all these people who aren't religious go and make these big things for these holidays, even Christmas, If you don't believe in celebrating Jesus' birthday, then what the fuck are we doing? And so, it's weird. It's just weird, but the corporation just makes it into a consumer. Buy the decorations, get prepared, buy everybody presents, and it just becomes such a consumer kind of thing. People just put so much money, and then it becomes guilt. It becomes like a role, because I'm seeing like all of these different roles and stuff, but it's like this position it puts you in, of providing gifts for people. And I don't know, it's so toxic. The whole thing's so fucking toxic. You should be giving something to somebody because you want to give them something. It shouldn't be like, well, it's a holiday, I gotta get them something, where should we get them? I don't know. It's just like, what are we doing? It's so wasteful. But anyways, I was just thinking about that the other day. And so I've been anti-holidays for a while. And I think I was my 60th birthday was the first one where I was like, okay, I'm not hyping with this. I'm just gonna chill. And I just stayed home by myself and didn't do shit. And it's so funny because everybody else, looks like oh, that's so sad. She's all alone on her birthday. And to me, it's like, oh, I'm getting it in my head that this is just another day. Like, what is the point of this? This timer, this countdown. And when I started really realizing, like, how are they measuring our lives? It's like trying to measure with something with that should be measured with a yardstick and measuring it with a ruler. It's like, no, we're not on that measurement, this year thing that's aging us. No, we have a window of time that we come in, and that's our window. That's whatever age you leave is the age you leave. That's there's no reason for this countdown of like this aging process. It just feeds into their aging process. It feeds into our minds that I'm aging, I'm getting old. And so it's part of the manipulation. And so I'm just like, no. And I just start seeing that more and more. But I can't remember what year it was. So maybe it was, let's see. So it would have been in 21 is when I turned 60. And so that is how long, that I've been shuffling away from all of these holidays and birthdays and stuff. So to me, it's like, it's I'm not, and into the 3D world, it looks like, oh, you just don't want to get old. Oh, look, isn't that, oh, she doesn't want to age anymore. Because there was like that old joke for a long time where people were like 39 years old forever or something. And, but it's like an absurd thing that we're counting down because the seasons change. It's like the seasons, how does that have anything to do with our aging? It's like, yeah, that year comes and goes. And so to me, I just keep thinking of the restrictions and the limitation it puts on you for celebrating your birthday each year, and how it drives the mind into believing you're getting old, and that aging is the development of old age. And so you do it to yourself. You put yourself in that, and then you create what it is that they told you is going to happen. But it doesn't have to go that way. But it depends on how you play the game. Like, if you play the game the way they want you to play it. And so so anyways, I was talking to my mom the other day about something with birthdays. I don't remember what it was. And I said, oh, I'm out on the birthdays. I don't give a shit about birthdays anymore. And I think it's like that. It causes you to age yourself because you are counting down, and I don't believe in that. And she said, well, I just look at it as like, to me, I like the anniversary of like this person came into my life at this time for kids. I mean, that wouldn't be for every single person, but every single person's out celebrating their birthday. But for her, she likes to acknowledge the day that her kids came into her life because it made such a difference in her life. So she's like, I like the birthday thing because it reminds me of the day and stuff. But our thing, I mean, that can, just like Mother's Day. I just saw a thing. Mother's Day, it started out as a remembrance for the mothers that had passed, and it turned into consumerism of, you better provide your mom with the best day possible. You better take her to the fanciest restaurant. You better get her the best gifts, get her flowers, give her and it's like consumer. So it wasn't just an acknowledgement of the mothers that had passed and missing them on a day of remembrance. No, it turns into party it up, spend some money, and it's just this constant drive of consumption and consumerism that is feeding our society. So it's no wonder that we're going on, it's going to be, we're consuming ourselves, we're consuming others and stuff. So everything is micro, macro. So it's going to play out with this, it's going to be in the physical. Soylent Green is what people are gonna, there's gonna be a whole bunch of people are gonna have to face that. And so that's gonna play out. There's gonna be all these people are gonna have to, in the rapture situation is getting closer and closer for those people. Like they're on the edge of their seats waiting for their ride to get here and all their problems to go away. And I know, man, there's just people who, they just want to die just because they think their problems are going to go away. And it's like, I wish I could get it through your head. Your problems are not going away. They just go with you. This is your opportunity to work on them. And if you don't work on them, well, they're going with you. Nothing goes away. People's idea of death is completely off from what it really is. You're not dying. You're not like this character is not going to die. It just becomes like absorbed into the bigger version of yourself. And so you, it's like it just is a change of focus. It's like going in and focusing on this life and living this experience and learning whatever from all the parts of the experience that you go through, and then that life ends in it's with this death concept and stuff. It's like people are so caught up in death when death isn't real. And so this death concept happens, that occurs, and then you go into some other place, some other thing, and then you go in and you have another experience and another experience, and it's just like it's a focus. It's like a focus on, because that is something that was so clear to me. Whatever you focus on is your reality. So this life is where we're focused, and so this life is our reality right now, but we have a whole thing out of there when you change your focus. So to me, like if you don't have to completely change it, but you just have to have the awareness of the shift. Like there's this spiritual side, there's side that's the real you, and then there's this other thing, this game. And so when you can shift out and try and bring in purpose and understanding into the game of why you're playing it, how you're playing it, and all that. But so all the people who think like that they can just die and get out of their problems, it's like no. And even with your spiritual entanglements, like your other soul group people, that you're entangled in these webs of karmic it's like a karmic assault, karmic debt towards each other, back and forth and back and forth. Then this opportunity is your opportunity to get out of them, but you have to do it in a intentional way. You can't do this in a passive way. Just, well, I'll die and it will all go away. No. I wish I could really get my brother to understand that. Like I don't know, if I'm going to get a talk about anything. My mom said she did get to talk to him some about spirituals, not spirit, or religion, God, or Jesus, or whatever. Some stuff about that. But, but I'm always like, Christian talk is more accepted than spiritual talk. Spiritual talk is a little that's a little crazy. That gets a little crazy. And it's like, well, it's not really crazy. Like, the thing that's weird is like that you think it's crazy. That's when things get weird to me. It's like, so, but yeah, I just feel like there's people who just become passive in like, well, I'm gonna die, that's it, but there's a whole thing of like they're leaving behind, and they think that they're shedding these things that they're not dealing with, like it's just gonna go. Most of the people think they think like that too, think death is real. They just think they cease to exist. It's like, no, it's gonna be a real shocker when you come out of your body. It kind of trips me out too, is like, for all the people facing death, well, maybe there is a huge thing of what happens when you die books being read by these people, but it seems like there's not. It seems like, maybe there is some, but it seems like it's not very mainstream. It's not very many people talking about like what happens when you die, when there's so many people facing it. It's like, well, if you're facing something you're scared of, why wouldn't you just go read other books? That's what I did. Like when I thought death seemed really scary, I read a bunch of those books. What happens when you die? What happens when you die? And then you start seeing, oh, it's the same story over and over and over and over. And so it is, but it just trips me out with all these people facing death and being scared of it, that they don't think like to read something like that would give them peace or something. Maybe they think it's going to scare them more or something. But, yeah, because there's a thing too, like I don't know what it was yesterday. It gave me that feeling of like, man, when you come out of your body, I wonder if it is like this little, like there's like a click or something. and it has like this jolt where it feels like there's got to be something that we feel when we go. And I think though too is in before in a lot of other lives, and there could be people here still doing it, but I think we have more experiences on our death. But I kind of feel like, where we all have these dreams of falling, even though I think that tons of people have fallen off cliffs, fallen off roofs, like fallen off of all different things. Is a way of dying, because people can die from that. And, we got to get out of the game somehow. So somehow we got to have an accident. We got to die. We got to get sick. Something's got to happen. But for the falling thing, I wondered if it is kind of like if the souls are all the stars in the sky waiting to be born, if it isn't your energy suddenly falling and going through the portal into the birth canal, into the birthing of the existence of you in this reality. And if that's not what we feel with the falling, like we're sucked in, kind of. Because when I came out that one time, it was like I was sucked in like a vacuum. It was the weirdest thing. It was so weird, because it totally felt like my feet were like a vacuum and just sucked me back in. And then it was just all of a sudden like, oh my God, I was out of my body. But the biggest thing to me was that yours is just the same. I just think that people just don't even realize that at all. You don't need your brain. You don't need any of that shit. You're the same. You're still thinking. You're still doing things. You're like the exact same when you're outside of your body. So then that's where you can kind of see like, well, what is the body for? It's kind of just so you can go around and not look like a ghost, I guess, to everybody, because everybody be scared. So you have to go in this shiny little vibratory illusion so that you can be seen. Oh, which there was a kind of a weird thing. There just keeps being weird shit about the Pope. And so there was another weird thing on, I don't know. Everything is just a big show. But so J.D. Vance is Catholic or something. So he went to the Pope for Easter. Like, can you imagine being at that level? Like, I'm just going to go talk to the Pope for Easter. It's like, that's weird. So he went over there, got into the Pope, was whispering something in his ear or something. The Pope became visibly very uncomfortable. Everybody could notice. He was so uncomfortable. He was very stressed. And then as soon as JD left, then he called in his lawyers and he changed his will and he gave all this money to this woman, which I'm just no telling what's going to come out about all this shit. And so then it's like, well, what do you think, he was saying to him? What do you think's going on? And then he dies a few hours later. So, I don't know, just more of the show. But everything, though, is always to show the truth and the corruption. So I think if this really all went down, then whoever this woman is, it's going to be something big. Something why the Pope was having to give her all this money. Like, no telling. No telling what it is all about. And then there's a whole thing about this being the last Pope, too. This 800-year prediction or prophecy where this guy said the names of every Pope, and then he went through them all, and they've all been there, I guess. And then they get to this one, and he said this is the last one, the 112th or something. And this is the last one. And so we just had the last one, which, to me, is because we're going to go away from religion, because religion was there to control us away from our real Holy Spirit, the real spirit of life. And so they were trying to control and contain our spirit, and then even get us to worship this darker kind of entity, kind of energy, I think, because their God is like a real dick, man. Is like, I mean, to sit there and be like, they're gonna destroy, burn you in hell forever if you don't say their name and stuff, like, it's a little crazy. And I've never understood how people can worship that and think that, I don't know. So anyways, but Yeah, all the religion and stuff is gonna be going away, and people are gonna see like that was always going outside of themselves. I saw this other video meme kind of thing, and it said the big mega churches on Easter, and it's showing these guys dancing because all the money coming in, and it was showing like Al Pacino counting the money and stuff. It's like, yeah, they're a bunch of fucking phony ass gangsters just sucking the money out of communities, sucking the money out of people who are trying to get to heaven. And it's just all so corrupt. Like, there's no telling how many of these fucking people are a part of the kids, you know, there's just so much uh, bad stuff and corruption. There's so many people here to maintain the corruption. The guy, this is so weird. So one of those guys, I think it's the big one. I'm pretty sure it's the one that's got so many followings, who does all this yard work, and he speeds it up, and then so many people follow. He goes and he does these crazy overgrown yards, and he digs them out and stuff, and he'll do them for free all the time. And so but he's a regular lawn guy, but I think he makes so much money off of his videos. Like he's really got a thing going. So I'm pretty sure it's him on this video, but this one was a little different because he's out there doing the yard, but the cops come. And so apparently what's going on, this old lady, she's like 88 or some shit, she's in her 80s, whatever it was, and she couldn't keep up with her yard, so her yard became overgrown. Well, then the county decides to fine her, and so she is trying to get somebody to come. So she says, okay, well, the county can do the yard. Well, then they said, well, it's $300, and she said, well, I don't have $300, and so then they're going to charge her. They're going to fine her and charge her. Well, see, this is what they want to do, is fine and make all these charges, just like these taxes. Like, my mom's freaking out right now because she's got to get the taxes to the house thing. It's like, man, they just fuck these people. They can just come in and they just keep, you got to give us money, you got to give us money, or we're going to take your house. And so this old lady, that they are making all these charges on, and you know her house is paid off and shit, and she probably makes $600 on Social Security or something. She's probably broke as fuck, and then she can't get out there and mow anymore. You just don't stop. You just gotta keep on going. You gotta find something every day to push your muscles and to stay strong, because otherwise, yeah, you find yourself all of a sudden 88 years old or whatever, and you can't do shit, and then this shit. It's total survival of the fittest, man. And so he's out there doing this yard. The cops pull up on him, and he starts recording. So you see this one cop, and he's like, yeah, well, you're gonna move or I'm gonna take you down or something. It's like so aggressive. Oh my God, I keep these fucking guys. And they're like, you can't be here. This is a municipal thing. And he's like, well, she hired me. But he said the cops completely ignored her. She's on the porch crying and waving and trying to get something, and they're ignoring the shit out of her. And they're telling him, they're arresting him. They cuff him, put him in the back of the fucking car. And then they start lecturing him about, this is a municipal case. You can't come on. This is a municipal property now. Oh, you motherfucking kidding. They're trying to force her into paying them to do the yard, or they're going to take her yard or take her shit away from her or something. He's going to do a part too, because he's going to go back and finish. So they didn't arrest him. They lectured him and shit. They let him go, made him leave. He said, I'm going back to finish the job though, and this week, so he's going to record it, and he doesn't know. He said, if I have to get arrested, then, you know, but he's going to be shown, because this is everybody in the comments. I mean, government overstep, but it's so nefarious how they go in to try and get old people trapped in this financial thing so they can take their shit. Like, it's so fucking crazy, and they've been doing it for forever. Like, this is something that's been going on forever. I mean, they'll go in and flood a whole fucking town to take your shit. Like, these people are fucking psycho. And they don't want us to have anything. We can't have shelter. We can't have the, like, it's crazy. And so So anyways, he's going to go back and finish and clear it, and so we'll see how it goes. But that's what they're trying to play out. And these police who just follow orders, like, you're going to go and fucking bully, like, what are you going to do, drag this lady out of her house when the government takes her house because she couldn't mow her yard? Are you fucking kidding me? And they won't let her, they won't let anybody donate or do anything. No, it's a municipal thing now. You're not allowed to donate, you're not allowed to help her, nothing. It's like, that is some bullshit. Oh, and Washington State is gone on steroids of overstep. So they're going all in. And of course, that was what's going to happen because they have to show the corruption in these blue states. And so it's going all in on total control over the people here. We will have no say. If they say you have to have these because there's an epidemic, well, then you have to. They can take the kids in the school. They can do whatever the hell they want to them. It just gives the government all the rights over all the people. So, well, we'll see how far the people let it go. And I don't know. It gets more and more absurd and more ridiculous to push the people to be like, well, you're not telling me what to do. But so many people are just like, well, you got to do what the right thing is. And in certain states, it's so programmed into it. Like, it's not just the government in the blue states. There's so many people in the blue states that follow along with what the government says, and then try and rally around to keep everybody else in a line. And that's why I was saying, like, it's like the SJW is being used against the people, just like in their movie where they were trying to get the people to kill the other people. That's what they do here, how everybody, they get us to go against the other people, and it's all out of this ignorance. People start seeing through it. So, but it's going to get more and more horrible, more and more absurd to try and push the people to see through it, because the people have got such blinders on, they can't see the truth right when it's in front of them. And to me, it's because of this restriction of fear of the things not being what they think, things not making sense, and they've got to keep it in order, so it's got to be contained. And so that's what's going to be like. It's dramatic moments in the awakening for people, because it's going to be all of a sudden, they're holding on to the shoreline, they're holding on to an anchor, and all of a sudden they're going to be just thrown out into the open water. And then on the micro macro, it's like showing that, like, tsunamis are going to go. I mean, there's already been some. They're going to go and take more people. It probably is exactly. And if a big tsunami comes in and hits into there, it's just, there's going to be more and more earthquakes. It's just going to keep going. And I saw one with the Cascadia fault line or whatever. So the one that's over by where I was. And so it goes up. And it's like right outside the coast, it seems, going up California and Oregon and across to Vancouver. So it's like that whole area, once that fault line goes, it's going to be crazy, because everything is, one thing shifts, it's going to knock the other things. It's just going to be like everything starts shifting and being knocked around and stuff, and the water is going to be going. And that was another thing, the earthquakes. That, I think, was the third or the second wave in that movie, was the earthquakes. And it was when her and her brother were running through this forest, and an earthquake started, and all these trees just started falling. I was like, oh my God, this is my nightmare. This is what I was so freaked out about being over there. I was like, fuck, this earthquake's coming around. All these trees are going to be falling. It's going to be fucking horrible. And that's what was in that movie in one of the waves. I think it was the second wave, but yeah, the plane falling out of the sky, the cars not working, the earthquakes, the government tricking people into killing who you want, who you should be going into unity with. And they did do that in the movie. They did start going in unity together and going against the others. And the others too were those beings that have been here for a long time, and they got hybrids. So they've got ones that are half human, half others, and the ones that have the DNA of the other beings, that they are like superhuman, like they can like Matrix it fight and stuff. And that, like they can go in and take on all these people who are shooting at them and not get hurt. And, they're flying through the air, karate chopping them or something. So anyways, that too was, because that is like this higher, more developed stage of abilities. And that is where we are going to start going more into those kind of abilities of, more supernatural superpowers or something. But really, it's not. It's like that's all our abilities, but it's like the going into the game and going into the blindness of self, and it's like the self-contained version of you. Then you don't realize of all the things you can do, and so it binds you down to this other version of yourself, but that's not the true version of yourself. This weak ass, whiny ass, scared of everything version of you isn't the real part of you. That's probably why so many people have like an internal battle, because their soul keeps trying to push them, but everything in the physical is so scary. It's like, it's scary. It doesn't make any sense. These people are weird. And these people are crazy. People are getting more and more crazy. And more and more of these crazy fucking killings and stuff. Like, fuck, man. I can't believe how many people, because there was another one, I don't know if I had already said this one, but this young girl with two guys who decide to go kidnap some little kid, some 2-year-old, and then oh my God, the stuff is horrific, and it's like, it's so hard to imagine a woman being involved with that. And of course, he didn't make it, and I think they even started him on fire. Like, it was really horrible. Like, why would you? What? But then you gotta be like, oh, nothing is random. Like, these are like all these people who have any kind of connection with each other are connected at their soul. And so they're a part of the storyline that those different souls are experiencing. And so it's not like, because in the appearance, it seems like just all this crazy stuff's going and all these crazy people, and you gotta dodge it and watch out. The crazy people are coming after us, but no crazy person can come after you unless you made that agreement with them before you ever came here. Like, they can't. You just can't. Nothing can happen to you that's not meant to happen to you. Only things that happen to you are a part of your story, a part of your storyline. And just people are so, misinformed, but they're so in alignment with their own storylines and stuff. And they are, it's weird. It's weird because you're born on a path, but so many people don't like that path. Like, it looks too dark or something. It looks like it's dark and scary. Oh yeah, because then in the physical, that's the lights, the shine, and the bright lights that pull you in, because the lights pull you into a different direction, but it's misleading because it's really taking you down a dark path. That's weird. Yeah, the dark path is your path of enlightenment, is the path of trust. The path that is lit up for you is the dark path. That's the one that's going to take you down the dark, into the darkest depths of yourself. So it is to get comfortable in the unknown, to go towards the dark path, the one that seems like it's not lit up well, the one that's like, I don't know where I'm going, but I feel like I'm led in this direction. And that, because you have like a homing agent inside of you, it knows where to go. The stuff's gonna go every day. It's gonna play out, just like I've said a bunch of times. It's like, you don't have to get up each day and figure out what's gonna happen today. It's set. The day is gonna happen the way it's supposed to happen. And that, I mean, it's like, there's things that happen that make that clear. Like, you can think you're gonna go do blah 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 blah, but anything can happen and set everything in a different way. And so many times people think, oh, well, that disrupted it or whatever. It's like, no, because you weren't supposed to go there. You were supposed to go there. And that's the way it's going to always play out. And it's almost like people just battle themselves all the time. They're battling themselves, which is energetically exhausting, and just is so much more clear when you get more in touch with yourself and you get more on that. "Oh, I'm going to go on the dark path. I can trust these guys," and with the guides, your guides, because they will lead you on that path. They will talk to you on that path. They'll explain to you, and on that path too is it's your what is that called? The Wizard of Oz Golden Path thing. But what was that called? It had a name. The Golden Path, the Golden Road, the road paved with gold. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. But that each person has their own golden path. Each one has their own path that is what you came here to experience. And on those paths is, even though it looks dark up ahead and you can't see, it looks scary, and you have to have confidence and believing yourself to go into a place like that. Along your path are people who are going to teach you. And so many of the lessons can be hard. It can be really hard lessons where you feel like beat down and stuff. But when you get past it, then you start seeing it makes you stronger. It makes you stronger to face your weaknesses and to see more of yourself and develop more of yourself. There's so many things like that you end up doing that you would have never thought you would do. Like you wouldn't, like just with like that CHDI that I putting those together, then and it blowing up in my face. I wouldn't have done that purposely, but fuck, man, I cleared out my lungs like that have been years of mucus, and mucus is kind of like it's kind of like pus to me. It's kind of like the same thing in your body, because we have all these different secretions in our body, like in the sebum in our hair. Well, it's not, I mean, you just got to think of, well, what would it be there for? Well, it would be there to protect your hair. And so it's something that's supposed to be on your hair, and then they want us to strip it off because I think they want us to all be a bunch of deadheads, because your hair is your antennas, so they want you a bunch of deadheads, so they want us to strip our hair, color it, shave it, do whatever. And so the deadheads, so let me think what I was saying. So the people and the deadheads, oh God, sometimes I get so lost in there. So, okay, hold on, let me see if I can pull myself back in there. So when you're going on, your path, it has to do with trust and your connection to your trust. And on your path, you're going to be encountering different people who are there to teach you. Sometimes some of your encounters are something just to give you a little build up, like something good happened to you. And those little quick things too are people from your soul group and stuff. So those, so on your path, your golden path that you have already laid out for you, your flight plan, that when you go on it, it has all this stuff that's going to occur naturally. But then the person who is being misled, who feels that they've got to get up each day, and make this day what they want it to be or whatever. And so they start fighting against themselves. They start fighting against their original path. And so part of their journey, part of their lessons or their experience is learning more to get in touch with themselves and to not fight against the natural. It's like you're trying to stop a plant from growing or something. And so you, in your set out path, you're going to grow just naturally no matter what. But there's just so much people fighting it to try and not go on their path and trying to figure out their own path and trying to find a different one, which that would be their lessons. That would be their storyline and stuff. It's not like you can go against it. It's just that this is a part of you that you would see. Like this part of you that fights against it, where you would have to figure out, like, why am I fighting against my own natural instincts? Why am I fighting against my own natural occurrences and stuff? Why am I trying to control everything? And controlling everything, like I said, is all due to fear. So when people are trying to control everything, it's because they're scared. They feel like that they have to. And then they put all this extra on people, like that you are supposed to be. And then when people have things not going the way that they think, they start feeling depressed. They start feeling like they're not good enough. They're not good people. Nothing goes right for them and stuff. It's like, well, if you're going on your natural path, you know, you're going to have ups and downs and curves and everything else. It's like you're writing a symphony. But you, but there's a flow to it. And when you are not in your flow, then you're fighting the current. And so it is like you keep yourself in a storm, you keep yourself in turmoil, you keep yourself in chaos. And so the more that you can realize, like, and to me, it's just start noticing in your own life, like, shit happens. You don't have to do shit. Shit just happens. And then also, though, we put pressure. We put, like, fuck, man. I got every day, it's like, okay, well, I'm ready. I'm ready to get my own home. I'm ready to get my own yard. I'm ready to unpack all my clothes and fix up my closet. Like, but when it's not on my path, like, I can't sit here every day and beat down doors and stuff. Oh, my daughter sent me this really cool, really old van thing. I don't remember how, I don't think it was a 62, maybe it was in the 70s. I don't know, it was really old, van camper thing, and it's all original and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, that thing is cool. But I want to have something to travel, but I also believe that our traveling is going to be changing. So why would I be pushing and pushing? Because if I trust the universe, it's like, well, they're going to bring me what I need. And if something's not coming, well, maybe it's because the hover cars are just around the corner, and I'm going to have a hover car, and I'm going to be getting around with that. So why do I want to burden myself with getting some van? I just got to, like, relax and let things happen. And the house thing, like, I don't know where it's going to be. When you hear this bullshit going on in Washington State, then it's like, well, I don't know that I want to be here. Like, everybody's going to up and leave or something, which there's going to be more chaos. Like, so many people live over in the Seattle area, and once this tsunami thing hits, once that fault line starts going, there's going to be a lot of shit. Like, I really do think there's going to be really bad things that are going to happen over there. And then that's what's also going to, the really bad things is what wakes people up. It's what turns things around. And so I don't know how it's going to play out. Maybe it's, you know, tsunami comes and there's devastation, and the government is like, oh, well, you're on your own. And that's what wakes people up, is like, well, they're not here for us. So, and that's been happening in a lot of different places. So that very well could be what's going to play out in Seattle, in California, all these different places. But yeah, this coastline is for sure going to get damaged. It's for sure going to change. The coastlines are going to change. Our land masses are going to change. And so, you know, that's going. But so anyways, it just doesn't seem like, you know, forcing things. It seems like just letting things play out and trust the timing. Just like, you know, at first when the thing blew up in my face, and then it's like, oh my God, is this, what the fuck is this come out? And oh my God, it was so intense too. When there was so much in my nose and it was raining and it was activating it, I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. And it starts making you feel like, fuck, this isn't good. I'm gonna die. Then you go look on Google, oh, you're gonna die. It's like, oh my God, what the fuck? And then, so I had to remind myself, you're not gonna die. Things happen the way they're supposed to happen. If you're meant to die from it, then you're going to die from it. But you're not meant to die from it, because you're meant to be here for this other thing. So there has to be a reason. And then you start looking for the happy accidents. Like, okay, well, if there has to be a reason, then something good's going to come from it. So something good can come from something. And when something bad happens, then it's supposed to. It's supposed to go that way because you're supposed to learn from it, or it's supposed to take you out or whatever. And then other people learn from that. So everything is all connected, and like learning this, it's like this bleed out of learning information that we all just kind of goes through us all. But, just like with my brain injury, going in and having something happen, and mine was in the hospital with all these doctors and stuff. They were the ones who did it. And so when, and then normally, like 5 days of sitting there with no, it just trips me out. Like, it's crazy because I was a nurse and I saw, and when people get a herniation, they die. And so when you get something that is kills people, then it's like, oh, well, if you're not meant to die, you're not going to die. If you're not meant to die from that, you're not going to die. And that's where people start going, oh, it's a miracle. It's crazy. It's such a miracle. But no, it's just like nothing can take you out that's not supposed to take you out. And when there's these big, like, what is the word? I keep hearing exaggerated, but it is, these big things that happen. There's more to it. Like they happen for a reason. Like, fuck, man, my life changed getting that brain injury. It put me on a whole new direction in life. And for a long while, I was fighting that direction. I was like, what the fuck? And, but then all of a sudden you get into, the thing is like, oh my God, that was the best thing that ever fucking happened to me. And, I'm glad. I'm glad to where I'm at now. And I've gotten much better. I'm not still having as many problems as I did. But I mean, my brain injury happened in '09. And all I can say to people is, like, if you get a brain injury, it can get better. Even my mom said my brother, he seemed like he was talking better because you start healing different parts of you. No matter what they tell you, you could heal them. Yeah, you may be different. You may do things different and stuff, but you will heal. You can keep healing and healing. And one thing, because the one brother, who's, in charge of all of this stuff, when I just had this conversation with him when I had got this brain injury. And I was thinking, it's so funny because they weren't very concerned about me. They weren't realizing, like, fuck, Kelly could have died. Like, fuck, I can't believe she's still here. And, but when I was talking to him one of the times, and I was like, for a while, man, I was depressed. I was down, I was struggling. Everything was so frustrating. It was so fucking hard. Every fucking thing I would do, the next time I tried to do it, I couldn't remember how. It was like I had to relearn everything every fucking time. Like, even ATM, like the little things to pay at groceries. Oh my God, those were so frustrating to me for so long. I've gotten so much better with them now. But every fucking time, it'd be like, what am I supposed to do? And people look at you like, what is wrong with you, weirdo? And so you have all of that kind of energy going all the time, and it's very depressing. And and one thing is too, when you have a brain injury, you look normal, and so people think like, well, you've got nothing wrong with you, but then you say weird things, or you do weird things or something, and so then people look at you like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And so people with a brain injury, a lot of them do themselves in. They can't, it's a huge numbers. I can't remember. It seemed like it was like 95% of the people with brain injuries do themselves in the first 10 years or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was something where it was like, dang. And so my brother was arguing with me about something and telling me, well, you better do whatever it was. I was feeling just stomped down on or something. And I was like, most of the people who get brain injuries kill themselves, right? And it's like, you just don't sit here and beat somebody down. Like, it's fucking hard enough as it is. And I don't know why that conversation just came into my mind yesterday. And I don't even remember the whole thing. I just remember me saying that and having that, I don't even remember why I was looking it up. But I know I was struggling for a long while. And it was obviously, there was different times where I was thinking about like, well, maybe it's, but uh, I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember. I just remembered that conversation. There was a lot of things about my memory, though. It was like very holy. It was like Swiss cheese trying to remember things. And it was like, fuck, I can remember this, but I can't remember this. And it was so weird too. So many, there was such a part where I started not trusting people because people were constantly telling me, oh, you did this, you said this, and all that stuff. And I'd be like, no, I didn't. And they'd be like, yeah, you did. And I would have no memory of it. It did not seem familiar at all. And I would argue, like people would argue with me. And I would be like, well, I don't know. I don't know then. I don't know why I would think this, say this, do this, or any of that stuff. And so but it became a part where I started not trusting people. I started feeling like people are lying to me. And I started feeling manipulated too. Like it started being like, people could just tell you anything. Oh, this happened, and be like, no, it didn't. And then people would be, oh yeah, it did. It was really, that went on for like 5 or 6 years. It was really, really hard. It was, it felt weird. People kept telling you things that didn't seem real, didn't seem right. And it just make you feel more disconnected and stuff. I can definitely see why there's, a big amount of people who or just take themselves out, because it's a weird thing. Brain injuries are a weird thing, and they make you, another thing too, it can make you really impulsive. And so that can be another thing, like, well, I'm just gonna do myself in, but it was an impulsive thing. But those are all things you learn when you go to your life review. You see yourself in other ways, and you see like, whatever, you see yourself more clearly, because it can be in a whole lot of different ways. You have clarity over what your experience was. It's like you get to go wrap up. It's the wrap up. You get to go through it and see it, and it's just as it's more trying, because then you see it through everybody else's perspective, and you don't see it through your own. And so you see how you affected people. You see you see like the effect you have on people, and the energy that you bring to the table, what you created. And so a lot of people don't like it. Like a lot of people do shit because they think they can get away with it. Nobody's watching. They can do this, they can do that. And then when they die, it just all goes away. It's like, that's not going to happen. It's not going to go away. That's one thing I really wish I could get through to my brother. It's like, that's the thing that I feel like I want to tell him. It's like, I already left that one message. You're going to find, when you go, you're going to find yourself shocked, because you're going to be outside of your body, and you're not going to be able to communicate with people. And I said, I'll be listening. You can come and communicate with me, but that's going to happen. And the people who aren't, the people just don't realize, like, you're going to come out. You're going to feel exactly the same, only you're not going to be able to talk to anybody. And you're going to all of a sudden have this, where you're going to realize that so much shit didn't matter and stuff. Like, you're going to have this motivation. Like, you're going to want to fix things. You're going to want to talk to people. You're going to want to, oh, I didn't mean it when I did that. I didn't mean this. So anyways, but you are restricted. It's like it's a different realm, and you can't get back into that realm in the same way. That's why you have to appreciate and have gratitude and be grateful for this experience, and use it for your benefit. Like, be aware of what this experience is about and use it properly. It's like, all of a sudden I was seeing like, for a long time I would use like a shoe instead of a hammer. And so that's basically, what we're doing. We're not using the proper tools. So when we get into life purpose and stuff, and we start using the proper tools, we become a lot more efficient in our life experience. So yeah, your life review is going to look a lot different if you have awareness in your life of what you're doing and caring and compassion than it is when you go over and you think you're getting away with shit. You can do this, nobody's watching and stuff. I just think what a shocker. Like people who think that they're getting away with shit. And then all of a sudden you got a crowd around you and you're watching the screen of your life play out. And yeah, that's got to be an intense feeling, a lot of shame and guilt. That's why I think the purgatory area exists, is because that vibration of you can't go up into, you're still like restricted in your vibration because you got to let go of some stuff. You can't, you got to heal from the roles you've played and stuff like that. And then let go of things so that you can get out there and start zipping around the universe like you do as an energy, like all these stars and space things that we see up there and they're moving around and stuff. Like that's what we do when we're just going out. And so I don't know sometimes if the ships are out there to witness and watch us, or if they're waiting to come in and land and talk to us, or they're fighting with these beings that they've been fighting with for millions of years or something. I don't know, but it's all going to start coming into our world more and more. Things are going to start making more and more sense. But there is a lot of people who are going to be dying right now before all that goes down. And so, but, you know, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, they didn't awaken and this didn't happen and they didn't heal and stuff. But don't forget, like, this isn't the end. This isn't the end. This is just, you know, one station. This is one station on a whole thing of train tracks, like they go all over the place. So just because to you it seemed like they didn't accomplish what you are here to accomplish or what you think you need to do, and they didn't do that, well, they're here for a completely different reason. And some of the reasons are just to help you find yourself. So it's so much more complex, and we do get so focused on everybody else's. Like, I'm doing the same thing. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, you know, my brother can't see this, he can't see that, but that's a part of his thing. That's a part of his lessons. That's a part of his journey. It's part of, you know, his shock at his life review or whatever. Like, what? Like, so it's, you know, those impactful things are what drives us to become better and stuff. So yeah, I can sit here and woe is me, you know, if he only knew, if he just understood, you know, what the world is all about and what we're doing here and stuff. And I wouldn't give up and keep trying, and you can save yourself and all this stuff. But, you know, everybody's here for different reasons. So we can sit here and think like they're failing because they're not doing what we think that they need to do. But we need to follow what we think we need to do because that's our track. That's our position. We're not all here for the same things. So there's so much stuff of, you know, just gotta let go. But I just feel like so fortunate because like this is my outlet. Like I get to go in and talk about this stuff and say, because yeah, you can't go and tell everybody, but you can see it. You can see, and it's just so, it's so crazy too, because there's so much in the academia of well, it's so built on ignorance because it's built on such a containment structure. Contain their thoughts and tell them that they're smart. It's like give them the piece of paper and tell them they got a brain, and then they just jump on board. It's like, well, I don't need to look at that. I know everything, and so it just trips me out. Like they just believe what Cedars is saying or John Hopkins, what they say. They don't need to show proof. They don't need to show study. I send you 30 fucking pages of a study and you don't even look at that. You won't even look at the study. Instead, you're just going to believe these other guys. They say no. It's like, well, these other guys are making money off of you being sick, so of course they're going to say no. They've got a vacation plan. They're building a new home. Like, what the hell are you talking about? So, anyways, but you can't, you know, everybody gets to have their aha moment at whatever they're here to wake up to. Their aha, some of the awakening stuff, it does happen over in the life review. Like you know, they allow themselves to, like, not take care of themselves, and that would be something that you would look and see and be like, oh my God, look at the choices I was making, look what I was doing. So you just see yourself in a different kind of way because you're not feeling it, and you're not in the trauma, and so where you're just overburdened. And so when you leave, it's just like this pressure goes off, and then you go and see and you watch yourself in a different way. So you learn a lot. So I think that so much of our learning has come from that kind of stuff. Going into life reviews, then going back into the game. Let me back in. I'm going back in. And then you go back into another experience so that you can build off of all of your experiences. And I don't think it's, I don't know, it's weird because everything is like a dream, but it seems so real. So I don't know, it's just weird. So anyways, I've been talking a long time, and I think I'm gonna go back to bed again. Yesterday I went back to bed for a while, but I was just dragging all day. I went and took 2 different naps yesterday. Well, I went and laid down, I fell asleep, and then I woke up. I was so out of it, and then I was like, I gotta go back to bed. So I just went back to bed, and it was like 6 o'clock. And so then I woke up. I was laying there. I couldn't get comfortable. And so then I'm like, fuck, what time is it? So I get up. It's like 11:45. It's like, fuck, man. So then, of course, dogs are out. Well, we want food. We want this. We want that. I've been out a couple times and stuff. And so then, well, I'm going to go look at some videos, do this, and then probably go back to bed. Then it's supposed to be really sunny again for the next few days. It's even supposed to get up in the 70s here. And it's so freezing cold at night, though. Fuck, it's cold as shit. And I don't know. That right there is just like the brewing of a storm to me. It's super cold and then super hot, super cold, super hot, super cold, because those 2 systems collide and it creates big storms. So I don't know. There's so much control over our weather that it's like, it's hard, when it's doing weird shit, then it's hard to think like, oh, that's just natural. That's just happening naturally. I don't fucking, fuck. I don't know. There's so much fucking bullshit, so much control, so much fucking bullshit. So anyways, let's look at that hair deal. It's definitely getting more hair growing in there. When you can't see any, and then also, what color is these hairs coming in? Like, because it seems like those ones are kind of whitish. I don't know. We'll see. Because there's so many people, or I don't know, so many people about my sister with that. Oh, the cock doesn't work. There's gray. And my mom, when she told my mom, which my mom's hair is getting so much darker. I don't know, like, what are you comparing it to? Like, I have a comparison. Her hair was like fucking white, and now it's so much darker. So you can say, well, your hair's still gray. It's like, well, it was white, so it's going in a certain direction, and it's not going in that direction. But it's like, no, you still have gray, so it's obviously not working. So when my mom showed her, so my mom had me send some pictures of me for my hair so she could see, and she goes, there's still gray there. You know, my mom said, that doesn't, if you see her in person, that does not look gray. It looks blonde. It looks like she's blonde in those places. It's not gray anymore. It's not white. So, and that's why I keep saying, it's like, it's not, but the way the light reflects, it makes it look more, but it's definitely darkening, and it will keep getting darker and darker. So it really does work, but it's not like instantaneously. Like, people want things to be instantaneously. Oh yeah, and somebody, well, I was talking about my tooth thing, and somebody sent me I said this mouthwash, because her and her husband's tooth had both broke or something, and they used this mouthwash, and it grew back real quick. And so I went to put it in my cart, and it's like, I can't remember. It's in the comments yesterday, I think it was. But if somebody's looking, I can go see. But when I went to read, it was a high alkaline. And I was like, I swear that is what I need, is more alkaline. I think I'm got a high acidic thing. And that is another thing too. There's something about that acidic and alkaline inside of us being off, and then that can be also what grows disease. And so, anyways, I'm excited to try this new mouthwash because I've been doing the peroxide mouthwash, but I bet you that's real acidic. I don't know. But so I'm going to try this one and see if it does start growing faster and stops with the sensitivity too. So that's where we're at now. And so, but I'm going to try that. But I don't know, I might have to wait until my next payday. So now I got this plane ticket. I kind of went on another dress spree. And it's so crazy too, because I know that there's people like, well, where the hell are you going to wear those dresses? I don't know. I just feel like that's what I need to do. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. So, anyways, we'll see. We'll see what this day brings. I mean, anything can happen. Anything can happen. The fucking sky can split open. Aliens could land in our yards today. The fucking sky could start raining fireballs on us. The earthquake could go, like anything could go down. And so just be ready for anything. And just keep remembering what you're doing here. Because to me, it seems so plain and simple. But so many people are so confused. But it seems plain and simple to me. What you're doing here is learning how to love yourself. Learning how to love everybody, and learning how to have the day that you want to have, because it's totally up to you. And you have way more control than you think. So anyways, but we'll talk about it again tomorrow. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.